Yo, what's going on, guys? Riot turned Maokai jungle into a viable jungler again by giving his Q a bunch of bonus damage, particularly against monsters. They did give it slightly more base damage against everything, but against monsters, it has an additional 40 damage at all ranks. So instead of doing 80 damage against monsters, at level 1, it does 120. So his Q is a pretty good clear tool. It's definitely worth starting over your E. The only exception is if you're going to solo start on an AoE camp such as Raptors or Wolves, you may consider starting E. But 9 out of 10 times, start Q, start with a leash. Maokai jungle clears aren't healthy in terms of HP, but you can do them decently quick. You can do a leashless full clear finish at 3:30 30, which is right when Scuttle spawns. If you want to have lots of HP for your gank or for a Scuttle fight, you should do a 5 camp clear instead. You lose most of your HP from Gromp, because Gromp no longer Giga heals you anymore once you kill it. We're going to lead in with an immediate Q auto attack. We want to get our Q on cooldown as soon as possible since it does so much freaking damage. Your Q is a lot of AoE damage. It hits everything around you, in front of you, and behind you, to where we can Q like this, hit the balloon Gromp at the same time. You want to max your Q first, W second, and E last. Maokai's E has been over nerfed because of Maokai's support being so strong at one point. We're on cooldown, so we might as well smite it here so we can get to our next camp and have our cooldowns ready. It doesn't really matter if our Q hits the whole wolf camp, as long as it hits the big one. That's what's important, because the big one's going to take so much longer to kill than the small ones anyways. It doesn't matter which part of your Q you hit the enemies with, it will do the same amount of damage. The difference is the slow or the knock. If they're within the circle, it's a knock. If they're just on the tip, it's a slow instead. We're going to W into them. You could run double points in Q instead of getting a point in W. If you end up getting invaded or do want to end up ganking before you finish your full clear, then you'll have to have your W to really do that efficiently. So like right now we could go top. That's too many minions though. Way too many minions. Maokai's W doesn't really block turret shots anymore, but you can swap turret aggro as long as your teammates hit the enemies while you are still inside of your W. That's just too many minions is the thing. We can't gank that, and we can't gank mid right now, so instead we'll just go ahead and finish the full clear instead. Auto attack Q reset. We get to cancel his auto. We have the smite for the big Krug. And we'll finish him off. So we just did a 3:20 full clear with leash, pretty standard, and you can see our HP with having to use a potion. It's not the healthiest clear in the world. It's not the weakest clear in the world either. I'll leave an E right there for the jungler. Hit him with an auto attack Q, push him towards my Fiora. I still have W to close distance if he flashes. If we're already in auto attack and Q range, there's no need to W because this is our only / speed up to stay on top of them with. She needs to take these minions so she can crash the wave. If Echo's already taken Scuttle, then I'll just reset. Yeah, it's gone. Alright, they changed the color of the danger ping. I don't know how I feel about that, of the retreat ping. It's purple now instead of red. Very strange. And no, I'm not on colorblind mode. First item rush, it really depends. I prefer more of a Dark Sill carry kind of build, and this is currently his highest win rate build. The highest win rate by far on Maokai jungle, because they nerfed green jungle smite and they've nerfed Heartsteel so much, is to actually go for demonic first item rush into Liandry's, and then typically Shadow Flame at that point, and you'll have a lot of damage output. If Heartsteel ever comes back into the meta, then it would be a Heartsteel rush instead. Auto attack Q reset. Our comp's pretty good. As long as your team isn't super AP heavy, you can get away with the Maokai jungle pick. He's currently a top 10 jungler based on pick rate and win rate. Depending on your elo and region, that will shift a little bit. But generally he's around top 10 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they nerfed it though, because at super high elos in pro play, Maokai is a bit of an unhealthy champion since he's really all hard point and click CC. There's not much outplay potential as long as you can get close enough to them. I have flash here. Get Q onto the Caitlyn, Q the Morgana and the Caitlyn there. You'll notice that we got the slow on Morgana, damage on Morgana, same with the Caitlyn, but we also knocked Caitlyn since she was within our circle. Flash W'd onto the Kate, move slightly behind her, auto attack Q reset. After you land your W, it's a second root, so you usually have time to move slightly and then auto. It's also why it's good to have an attack speed rune, attack speed, AP, and armor, because you heal off your passive. Very, very important. See Echo's bot side. We should have put our sapling in the brush there. Yasuo's, that was pretty int of him. Yasuo should not be struggling early against Cass mid. There's really no AD mid laner that should be struggling early against Cass mid until Cass has a frozen heart, or at least plated steel caps with level 6. Pre-plated or pre-frozen, Cass should lose against every single physical damage matchup in the game very handily. I go bot side here. I'm not level 6. A lot of times on Maokai, you end up playing like a Nunu after your first full clear, and you end up ganking a lot as long as you can come up behind them. Juke that out. Get the W onto Caitlyn. Slowed the Morg. She's slow, she's slow. Pyke still misses. That's unfortunate. Oh, Swain got his. We missed our Q onto the Kate there. Heal off the minion with passive, E and brush. This is a bad situation. We got Q onto Caitlyn. Is she gonna keep trying to auto me? No, she's just gonna go for Pyke now. She's on a Ghost. She's moving fast, but she doesn't have very much damage yet because she's kind of behind. We want to stay in shove wave. We hit level 6 pre 7 minute 30. That's solid for how little we've been farming, but it's also been because we've been leeching XP after successful ganks. Unless your teammate asks you to, or if you have a successful gank, those are the only times you can really share minion XP with your teammates. If you're just showing up randomly and taking minions or standing there, that's bad. That's really bad. It's bad manners. It's a lot like cutting in line at a food establishment or cutting in line in general. It's just not a good thing to do. She's chasing him down. Put E in brush. Your E's do more damage and slow more if you sat him in a brush. They also last longer too. The more HP you have, the more HP you buy. Auto attack W reset. Couldn't get off W since it died too fast. I do have R. I think our best option here is to hit wraps, swing back around for the Swain gank. Maokai R is AoE, so it's usually best to send that bot lane. That way you can hit damage them both, snare them both. And then you can take Dragon off of it. Dragon really is the league meta right now. Herald is a very weak option because it only scrapes a plate and a sliver instead of 2 plates and a sliver now. I'm gonna put down my Q, got slow on him. I'm gonna die though. Get W on him. Oh, I'm on phase rush speed up. I might be able to suicide if I can get my E slow here. Yeah, I think I'll be able to suicide. That's actually really good. Put that down right there. And it should be a suicide. That would have been really lame if it gave Echo kill participation for that, for his W. It slows you if you're in it, or stuns you if he's in it and you're in it, but I wasn't in it. But there's some abilities like Vague Cage where even if you're not in it and you're on the outside, even if you don't touch it, it'll still give Vague kill participation, so you gotta be careful for stuff like that. Okay, we're going for Demonic here. Oh gosh, I can't afford boots. This is really bad. You rarely ever want to finish a full item like this and not have boots. It's only because I had a weird amount of gold. Normally you would want to have Dark Seal tier 1 boots and then get Demonic tier 2s, then Leandries. So kind of unfortunate. It's just how much gold we have. Maokai has fairly low base movement speed at 335. That's more of a range champion kind of base movement speed. Melees tend to have 10 more base movement speeds than ranged. So they're supposed to. That's how they balance the game out. Melee champions usually have higher base damage, higher ability damages, and typically better scaling. Typically. Obviously, the ranged champion's advantage is their auto attacks are ranged, so they can bully you down earlier, especially if you're not positioning properly. Oh man. Should have really finished pushing the wave there. That's my bad. It would have crashed into the turret. Let's check the brush here. I do have R, so going for bot gank here would make some sense. Wow, he was really trying to steal that from me. What a butthole. Free dragon it is. Once again, don't max E second. It doesn't get a lower cooldown per level, and the slow doesn't increase per level. Meanwhile, your root goes up, damage goes up, and cooldown goes down on your W. So they've over nerfed his E. They didn't like Maokai support meta. If you like I said, if you have the option between dragon and herald, you should always go for dragon. Heralds are over nerfed, dragons they over buffed. At the end of season 12, they made every dragon give you more, and they buffed souls, so it was kind of crazy. And then at the start of season 13 here, technically preseason 13, they made heralds do less. It just doesn't make sense. I think they want to try to force games to end earlier, and they think the best way to do that is to force people to team fight on dragons instead of playing for heralds. But I mean, heralds is supposed to be how you end early, by cracking turrets, but it's really not anymore. It's sad. And behind them, neither one has a full item. I have a full item. I'll drop early R, get E and brush. As long as you're behind them, your R is pretty much guaranteed to land. We get the snare. Push her towards my teammate with Q. E the brush. She has nowhere to go. Once Maokai gets behind, it's impossible to get away from him because his Q is a little alley headbutt, pushing them in exactly where you want him to go. And if they flash or dash after you've activated your W follows them. Heat sinking missile. I don't have boots. We really need to reset here. Walking around bootless is bad. With that being said, we are moving 397 with Relentless Hunter, which is faster than most champions with tier 2 boots. Oh, plus we are in the river, so. Typically tier 2s. We'll go Mercs here. I think Mercs makes the most sense. Lucids are pretty strong with the Maokai Q buffs because it lets you rip through your camps faster. It's super high tempo, but also kind of risky if you're going to play with Dark Seal because you'll end up dying if they have heavy CC like the Mork Stun, Mork Snare. Kate Snare, Kate Slow, Cast Slow, Echo Stun. You get the picture. We need Merc Treads. If you can stay alive a little bit longer on Maokai, every time you use an ability or you get hit by or whenever you're hit by an ability. So you use an ability, you're hit by an ability, puts your passive on a lower cooldown, making your next auto attack heal you quite a bit. So surviving on Maokai is super important. You can stay alive for just a second longer, odds are you won't die. Or it'll at least force the enemies to overcommit to finish you. Similar concept to a Dr. Mundo. If Dr. Mundo isn't bursted down, odds are he's going to overheal from his R and he's going to be super annoying to deal with. In terms of what you want to ban on Maokai, usually you want to go for a Mordekaiser ban. Mort's super hard to deal with. He'll R you and you can't get away from him once he has Rylai's. He'll perma walk you down. Especially once his passive's up, he gets around 10% bonus movement speed, he walks you down perma slowed, and you literally can't get away from him because your knockback range is like the same range as his passive. So best ban Mord. They'll think you're playing Maokai top as well, since Maokai jungle is still not as popular as it should be. ER, hey Morgana, pop with W, Q her into my R. Smite on Echo to slow him down, E and brush Q. I kind of pushed him towards Swain there, which is bad, but it's still slow. Down he goes. Doing some big boy damage here. She has tier 2 boots. She's gonna die. What is she doing? She's a goofball. The turret will still focus you after your W as long as you've started hitting the enemies. Unless you have a teammate attack them while you're traveling in W. So it's a good tool for dives as long as your teammates will hit them while you're doing it. Otherwise, the turret will keep focusing you and you'll probably end up dying, especially in the early game on the dives. Auto WQ. Let's get an E in that brush. E's are lasting 40 seconds now because I have some bonus HP if I put them in brush versus 30 seconds if I lay them raw somewhere outside of brush. Might be all. Ooh, I think he saw me here. Yeah, he saw me. Auto attack Q. He's gonna run into my saplings. Yee! Oh, this is bad. I couldn't finish him, bro. I think only one of my saplings hit him is what happened. I'm in a really dumb spot here. Somehow Swain's popping off, though. Maybe I should have just fought it. This is weird. I don't want to die, because if they kill me, they get 1,000 gold. Plus, I lose Dark Seal stacks. It was too forced. Way too much risk, not enough reward, because we don't even need kills at this point. We can just 5-man group on Dragon. If they show up, they lose by default. Versus fighting them in a weird spot of their jungle separated 5v4. It's not a bad time to reset. Actually, it is. I can't afford Leandries. I'll go ahead and pull it out. Whenever you're hit by a large monster or epic monster, it puts your passive on a lower cooldown, and this one hits you a lot, so this one's actually one of Maokai's easiest ones, the Wind Dragon, since it autos so often. You can see the healing's kind of nutty. Typically don't want to do dragons without smite. Echo is in base, so it's fine. I don't have blue jungle item, but I do have Relentless Hunter, so I'm moving really fast. It's like I have boots and mobility, essentially. Auto Q. I still have my W as well. Auto W. Yeah, down she goes. So hard to get away from phase rush. She's gonna die for that. Her ignite killed me though. Holy crap. I didn't think that was gonna kill. That was only a level 9 ignite, which is obviously less damage than a level 11 or 12 ignite. And I had higher base health, but she did just enough damage there. Rip. Now we have Leandries for even more max health burn. So at this point, you'd usually go for Shadow Flame. Lots of damage output. Every single one of your abilities on Maokai, obviously besides your passive, does magic damage, so Magic Pen goes pretty well with him. Third item, you could also push for a Morello if you need heal cut, if they have a lot of healers or self-healers. Swain, Master Yi. Self-healers include champions who also build self-healing items, like Yasuo with Shield Bow. You have Irelia's, Aatrox's. So you can't go Morello third. You can go more tank items if you really need it, if you're the only front line on your team. But typically third item, you want to go Shadow Flame for this 61% win rate build. Come on, baby! Ow! WQ. Oh, man. These guys are taking some fat damage here. Oh, that hit. I kind of need to heal up off something. Mej is definitely viable on Maokai. Don't feel like you have to get it, though. Since you are a tank, there will oftentimes be situations where you will die, and then you'll waste your Mej stacks. Especially on my team, I am the main front line. Me and Swain. Outside of that, Yasuo, Fiora, and Pyke are not really the front lines. Fiora's most likely going to stay on the split. It's Fiora's best win con. Our team is so melee heavy. If Caitlyn was fed this game, we would probably have lost. That was their win con. Would have been Caitlyn shredding down our melees while Set, Cass, and more kind of front line there. Echo didn't play for his bot lane though. I played super heavy for my bot. They had the Pyke CC, Swain CC. It made a lot of sense to play for. He didn't want to R for that. Get the W on Echo, push him away from my team. Plus I get the phase rush and the R. Oh, this is weird. How did we lose that fight? Yo, we actually lost that fight so hard. Like, granted, I wasn't really in the fight, but neither was Echo. That was kind of janky, dude. I didn't even see what happened. It all happened so fast. They might get Baron off that. Cass is low mana at least. Caitlyn's low health. Swain has R, but he's also super low HP here. Fiora lands the stun. They have to pull off Baron. Swain's not really healing though. He's super low HP. Healing off Fiora R now. That should be free Baron for us. In team fight, I should probably focus the Cass. He's most likely doing the damage for his team. Focus him down with our W if I can't find a good flank with R. We find the W, auto attack Q into R, so he's snared into a Q. He used his flash, I'll use mine. Should be Baron into Dragon if my team follows. We don't have minions to even push mid, so this call isn't good. Now, if we had a big wave mid, sure, we should push mid, take inhib, but we don't have the minions for it. We're taking this really fast by ourselves. What the heck? Look at this. How are we soloing Baron right now? What in the world? Because when you tank Baron, guys, you do 50% less damage. So if I wasn't tanking this right now, I would have already killed it. My goodness. Riot has gone too far. Maokai's a little bit too spicy. The damage versus monsters is kind of nutty. Smited it late. I'm used to 900 smite. Not used to it being 1200 in the late game. Cass is super low CS right now, 98. Get an E and brush into a W on Echo. We have Relentless Hunter, so we can kind of run him down. Cass is on the run. We land QW, or WQ I should say, and then he burns to death from our double max health burn items, and possibly jungle item as well there. Red jungle item does a little bit of max health burn. We'll leave an E in here. The nice thing about AP Maokai is when you're setting up objectives, if you have one forward E, if they have a squishy walk into it, they get chunked. Heck, even if it's a tank, they'll lose a decent amount of health since we have so much max health damage. WQ over the wall. Wait, Morgana got it? What the hell? Can't believe that just happened. She stole that. It's probably not worth because it wasn't sold for either team. And now they're going to get staggered pretty hard in theory. Staggering meaning they're going to have less people on the map for an extended period of time, allowing us to push the map and take their turrets and whatnot. You have to consider when staggering your team could possibly be worth it. It almost never is, especially at this point in the game. If my team were to group up, that is. Holy moly. Fiora just died to an Echo? My goodness. So they lose 2 turrets off of that dragon. But you could argue they're going to lose those turrets anyway, since like we're ahead or whatever. Look at that damage. Phase rush on Maokai is so freaking good. You can always get out of a bad situation if it's not on cooldown. We slow the set, get an E down, and try to walk away. Yikes, set just slapped him hard. Big Mork snare. Just trying to get her away from my teammate. I don't actually want to commit here. WQ. She should die. If they don't block that for her. Caitlyn just blocked it seemingly on purpose with her body. Oh, this is bad. Oh, at least I'm on phase rush speed up. That's a lot of damage, bruh. That's a lot of damage. I've given up all my shutdown gold. Now I wish we kind of got that dragon so we could play for Drag Soul. I don't have much faith in this Yasuo or Fiora. Also, if you're going to play Fiora split push mode, building Jackshow is a goofball move. When you're playing split push mode, you want maximum damage output to rip down objectives and kill someone in a solo fight. Jackshow is more of a team fight, multi-fight item. Because if you're a strong split push champ, you don't need Jackshow to solo people at all. In fact, it just makes it harder to. You normally see team fighters like a Hecarim build Jackshow rather than a split pusher. It's really pointless on split pushers, honestly. It's the only way to put that. We'll go Rabadon last item. Swain's getting thrashed. Dude, he did like 100 damage to him. They're this game is going the wrong way right now. Fiora should probably just stop splitting with that doo-doo feces build and just group. She's getting soloed by an Echo on Fiora. That's not good. We definitely have the stronger team fight. It's just a matter of everyone coming together. It's a lot like herding cats. Oh, you think you can have this turret, big boy? I guess you can. I might actually die here. Nice. Pyke gets 2 of them. It's kind of worth, as long as Pyke doesn't die. It's actually so wild how messy this game got. Very, very messy. Cass has a lot of magic resist on his passive, and on his Q he gets a big magic block shield. It's highly minimizing damage output for us right now. The triple magic damage, we could pick up Vistage final item for the healing. I just don't understand why teammates want to group, don't want to group. We have a way better team fight. Echo didn't build any tenacity. If we land 1 CC on him, he dies. We have Swain hook, snare, Pyke hook, stun, Maokai, double snare, knock. I know he doesn't have any tenacity because he doesn't have the resolve tree. He doesn't have resolve tree or precision tree. And he doesn't have Merc treads, so anything we hit him with is going to last the full duration. He's not going to be able to R to survive. Or even Zhonya's if it's my displacement. Or Pyke displacement or Yas displacements. So team is grouping without me now. This was a really weird fight to force when Dragon's up. Should have just went to Dragon and then we could fight him over there if they came. Need to get set off of my teammate. Pyke gets the stun. We WQ. I'm taking a lot of damage. We should just go for the Dragon here. We can't end. Ending would be a very low IQ move. Morgana throwing out bombs from a distance and whatnot. Plus we can leave E's. Our E and brush are lasting 45 seconds. The tankier you are, the longer they last. But the problem is if you're really tanky, your E's aren't going to be doing any damage anyways, so it's just kind of pointless. It's kind of dumb they made it like that. It says E's don't scale that much off of your HP. Alright, next drag is Soul. It's going to be really good for really our whole team being melee and whatnot. Swain's technically ranged, but he's fairly low range. The burn items stack, so you don't have to worry about, oh, my team already has a brand and singed or whatever. Because it was like 4 or 5 patches ago, they made Demonic and Leandri stack to where you can, everyone on your team can build those items, and then you could have 5 Demonics and 5 Leandris burning them all at once and just crazy damage. I think it's kind of OP. It's not fair to tanks to have to endure that. The counter argument would be, oh, just build magic resist at that point, but I mean, still a lot of damage. Get off my Fiora. Got an E in the brush. This guy's so screwed if Pyke hooks. He's doing some gnarly damage though, my goodness. Set autos with fed heart still is scary. They're apparently trying to end right now. They're the ones who are split pushing us. Fiora's gonna most likely die here. Oh, nice. She made it up to Fountain. Sick. Wow, my E hit the minion. How useless. It'd be nice if they prioritize champions a little bit better rather than just chasing the closest thing. Because chasing a minion's kind of useless. Down goes the Swain. Yeah, this game just... It's a massive forced fight. There's nothing to gain there. Even if they killed one, then what? They still have 2 turrets and there's several of them alive. You just got to think about the upside and the downside. The risk is we're fighting them underneath their base speed up because it's post 20-minute mark. So they have base speed up, they have the fountain heals, and we're fighting them underneath 2 turrets. It's just not a smart fight. Their scaling's so good too. Yasuo only scales if you're not like super greedy. If you have no clue how to position, it's hard for that champion to get out. What makes him dangerous is his shredding power once he's in. Hey, Cass. You're dead. Got him. All I had to do was set up a few E's. It gave us the damage even with Cass having so much free magic resist in his build. Or in his kit, I should say. He also finds the pick. W into Q. We could just force end here. 2 of them are dead. We're all high enough HP to do this. Typically, though, you'd want to push in the other lanes and get triple inhib for double supers. Got a long range E. Oh, hey, Echo. W into Q. Somehow Pyke still died there. Auto attack Q smite. Nice, nice. Gotta hit the turret though. They're all spawning back in. They can't end if they kill us here though. They don't have the minions. Go ahead and drop my R. WQ. They have zombies apparently. I was actually trying to save him there, but I couldn't. Let's look at damage dealt, damage taken. An absolute mess of a game on both sides, including myself. Looking at damage dealt enemy champions, we had the most in the game at 54k. For damage taken, we had a solid amount towards the top of the pack. For healing done, decent amount. For self-mitigated, decent amount. For runes, high value. I'm a little surprised we had the most damage dealt, but I guess that's why the AP Maokai build has the highest win rate in the game right now. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is King6. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.